Apparently, it is a top-ranking question for drama schools on YouTube and Google. Am I too old to audition for drama school? It's like we assume that education is only for the young and foolish, and that there is a hard cutoff for people above a certain age that prevents them from exploring, studying acting. So I thought I'd just grab my tea, sit down, and set the story straight. You are never too old to audition for drama school. I mean, if you were at the point in life where you stop falling over and you start having falls, then yeah, you're probably too old for drama school training, but never say never. I'm gonna spend this video telling you all of the reasons why I don't think that you are too old to be auditioning for drama school and why you are not too old to be considered right and suitable for training by an audition panel. But before we crack on with it, if you are new here, hi, I'm Louise. I'm an audition coach and I've been helping actors secure places and offers at some of the top drama schools around the world. And I've been doing that one-on-one for quite a while, which is why last year I launched the Act Cool platform. It is where I have put all of my speech suggestion lists, training videos, rehearsal tools, drama school information, and a ton of other things so that you can access that knowledge and practice those skills without the one-on-one private coaching price point. And currently we are doing Audition Summer School. So if you're wanting to get ahead of the crowd and prepare well in advance of the applications opening and feeling confident and fully in control of what you are doing for your audition season for 2027, then you can sign up for workshops in July and August. So let's get back to why you're not too old to train. First things first, I want you to scan every single drama school website, go through every bit of writing, anything that they have written on that website, and you tell me exactly where it says that there is an age cutoff. You tell me anywhere where it says over the age of 30 need not apply. Seriously, pause the video, go to these websites and do your research. Actually, let me save you wasting an afternoon and I will tell you that there is no such thing. I mean, of course there isn't. Education is open to all. And if you've got the acting chops and you're a halfway decent person and you've got some interesting ideas and you play nicely with other people, then I see no reason at all why an audition panel wouldn't consider you for a program. Yeah, Louise, I know that they let you audition for these courses, but do they actually want people who are of a certain age attending these courses? Yes, they do. It is a common misconception that drama schools are focused solely on school leavers and people who are in their early 20s. In fact, there are some young actors who actually struggle more getting into drama school because they lack what we all call lived experience. That they've actually spent the majority of their years on this planet learning in an education environment, which means that they just don't have much knowledge of the outside world. And that lack of experience can actually count against them in those auditions. So the sheer fact that you've got a few years out of that school system and out into the real world means that you have a perspective and experience and knowledge and a way of thinking that might not be what other people are bringing into the room on the day. Life experience counts for a lot. Do you know why? Because you're an actor, a person who inhabits the lives and the minds of other people. Different points of views, different experiences, different political beliefs, different religious beliefs, tragedies and hardships, complicated mess of emotions and opinions. Extensive lived experience within your own life feeds into your ability to inhabit other characters. Because with more years of experience, the likelihood is you've encountered something similar to another character. And that is a strength. Also, you probably have more of a sense of who you are as a person. You probably aren't growing and molding your sense of identity quite like somebody who has just left high school. And with that grounding and assurance in who you are as a person, you are more able to take on notes and constructive criticism, more able to deal with the stamina and the rigorous demands of training. And that with that criticism comes this sense of not taking it so seriously and not taking it so personally. Like you'll be able to do that more naturally and automatically than somebody who doesn't quite have that sense of who they are. And that is incredibly attractive to an audition panel. Now, I know that this can sound like I'm making sweeping generalizations about people who are older, have a better sense of who they are, and are more happy and healthy in terms of their internal world. And that isn't always the case. Look, I have met some incredibly mature 17-year-olds who I would more than happily follow into battle. And I've also met some incredibly immature 30-year-olds who seriously need to just grow up. So I understand that these these are sweeping generalizations and there is more nuance to be found. I am just telling you what I have witnessed across the board. Another thing is that from my experience of teaching and directing at various schools in the UK for a number of years now, a large part of your training is going to be exploring full-length plays or scene studies, as well as devising and creating your own work. And I can tell you firsthand, unless these schools are deliberately choosing plays that have casts of very, very young characters, there will be a character within your age range. Like in the UK, you are guaranteed to do Shakespeare. Guaranteed. And there's a high probability that you're going to be doing Chekhov, or at least one of Chekhov's contemporaries. And guess what? Those plays have a majority of characters who are over the age of 20. Over the age of 30. Characters well into their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So if you have a cast of 12 people and you happen to be the only person in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and everybody else is in their late teens or early 20s, and you were doing a play that has majority characters from 30 upwards, the rest of your group are going to be concentrating on doing transformational work, vocally, physically, psychologically, to reach these characters that they're going to be embodying. And whilst that's an incredibly important part of your actor training, you don't have to do that for that particular project. You get to sink into a character that is a lot closer to you, one that is much easier to access in terms of physical presence, lived experience. So you can have fun with nuance and technique and take that much further, because you're not jumping over the hurdles of trying to psychologically leap to somebody who is 3 decades your elder. And speaking of playing your own age range, it gets even better, because upon graduation, once you actually leave and go out into the industry, you are going to be meeting casting directors and agents and doing a showcase to these industry professionals, along with a cohort of people who are much younger than you, and you are not going to be competing for the same jobs or the same agent representation. You are going to be in a completely different casting bracket down to your age. It's easier to get noticed if you are slightly different to everybody else on stage. So take the win. Now look, I did just mention that if you are going to be training and then graduating out into the industry, then you are going to be graduating alongside a cohort that are going to be considerably younger than you. And that is kind of the norm. That is the general thing, that people who are above a certain age tend to be the minority within a drama school year group. For undergraduates, it tends to be from the ages of 20 to 30. And for postgraduates, it might be a little bit up from that. You're looking more at 30s, 40s. Again, it's a sweeping statement and there are fluctuations within that. So you'd be right to be concerned about the fact that if it's majority younger people being accepted onto these courses, then it means that people of your age range just aren't accepted. But that isn't strictly true. It tends to be that the numbers of people auditioning starts to dwindle the older and older they get. That there is this presumption that, okay, well, everybody is of a younger age, therefore I shouldn't apply, I shouldn't audition, and there's a hesitation and they opt not to actually apply because they think that there is a cutoff when there isn't. So actors who would gain such benefit from training, who are ready to be educated in these institutions and to go out into an industry feeling ready with the skills that they feel that they're currently lacking, those people are being deterred because what they are seeing is not themselves reflected back at them. I mean, the sheer fact that I have to make this video is case in point. And it's sad to think that potentially the reason why older actors are not actually auditioning for schools is because there's a belief that the ship has sailed, that education is for a younger bracket. And in my opinion, and most of the audition panel's opinions, that isn't the case. If you want to train, then go and audition and see what they say. Now the thing is, there are a few things to consider with this. If the norm, not the rule, if the norm is that you're going to be training alongside other actors who range in the ages from about 18 to 25 up to 30, then you might not relate to them the same that they relate to each other. I mean, you might not. Got to remember that the hours are long, the workload is heavy, and you're working in close proximity to each other. There's a certain support network that everybody needs. So just have a think about whether 1, 2, or even 3 years worth of training surrounded by people who don't relate to you the same way that you would relate to somebody else your own age. That's all I'm saying. And that goes for the people that are teaching you too. You might find that you you have tutors and lecturers and directors who are younger than you. People that have different points of knowledge and authority, even though they have less years on the planet than you do. And some people will be totally fine with that, and others might find that a trickier experience. And you know yourself, so just give it some thought. And the last point that I want to make is that drama school isn't like a standard university. Like I said, the hours are long. Most drama school students struggle to hold down even part-time work because the contact hours are so demanding. So being at a different stage in life, might carry with it different people, different things, different places, different expectations and dependencies on you. So outside commitment and expectations teamed with a really big workload at drama school might make it a trickier thing to balance. So it's definitely something to consider before you apply. So in a nutshell, no one is too old to be training, and nobody is too old to be starting their acting career. There are definitely some advantages to both training and entering into the industry above a certain age. And there are also things to consider and go over in your mind before you apply. But you shouldn't be letting the thought of your age being a huge defining factor of whether you will or will not be accepted onto a course. I really hope that you found this video useful and that it gave you the reassurance that you needed. Remember, don't forget to sign up for the Act Cool platform and to get some Audition Summer School workshops booked in. All of the details are in the description box below, so check those out. Like and subscribe as always, but until next time, bye.